Hey, you know one of the big topics and hot points of conversation when it comes to fitness nutrition is, what do I eat before I work out? And so that's what I'm going to address today. So today my goal is at the end of this video, you're going to know how to fuel your workout so that you get the most productive session no matter what time of day you have, so that you don't get sick, and so that you can actually kind of move ahead and feel like you've got the best fuel for your body. So when it comes to working out and it comes to the nutrition, that's kind of my wheelhouse. My name is Isaac Wilkins, if you don't know me, and I own Relentless Strength Training, which is all around me. And what we do is we help athletes come up with custom solutions for their nutrition problems as well as their fitness problems. And one of the big things we talk about is pre-workout nutrition. I view that as actually one of my primary focuses when I deal with people, when I kind of work with people on their nutrition, is what do they eat before they work out? So the first question that we always get into is, what kind of goals do they have, and what time of day are they going to be working out? Because here's why it matters. Different goals, of course, require different nutrition. We'll get into that in a little bit. But also, what time of day it is matters. If they're an early morning person, then their nutrition is going to be a little bit different than if they're training at night after they've had all day. So what I want you to do is I want you to view nutrition as part of the kind of the whole landscape. And so there's no one meal that's going to either make or break you. It all really depends on how they work in and of themselves. But basically what I want to talk about is, look at my notes here, what we kind of look at priority wise. So what time of day? Let's start with that. If you're training first thing in the morning, if this is going to be this one, we get a lot of early morning clients, and this one sort of depends on the person. Normally what I would say is if you have more than half hour, 45 minutes before you train, more than definitely if you have an hour, then get some food in you to start to raise your blood sugar up a little bit, start to get a little bit of protein into you, we'll get into that, but start to kind of get yourself so where your body's got a little something to work with. And if you're somebody that doesn't have that period of time, like if you roll out of bed and you immediately start training, which I'm not necessarily recommending, but we have people that do that. If that's you, then your real priority is making sure that your meal the night before is excellent and fueling you for your carbs. So view that as like a really long-term pre-workout meal. Before you go to bed, make sure you get some carbohydrate, make sure you get some protein into you, because that's going to be digesting and it's going to be basically flooding your body with the nutrients that when you wake up in the morning you're going to need. Because what we don't want is we don't want you to wake up, we don't want you to pound a bunch of food, start working out, and then get sick, because that's what happens if you try to get too much food. So if you're in sort of a short window before your workout, then try to get something that's a little more liquid or something that's a little more really fast digesting. We're talking like fruit, yogurt, stuff like that, or liquids. That's where the shakes come in, stuff like that. Don't rock the old traditional English style breakfast with the beans and the toast and the sausage and stuff like that right before a hard workout. Some people can seem to get away with that. Most people can't, but the bottom line is your digestion is going to be slower. Later on in the day, say you work out after work. Now, assuming you've had several meals over the course of your day, this is going to be less of a big deal because those meals are digesting. Digestion time for food can be anywhere from, especially with a mixed meal, as in carbohydrates, fat, protein, all that type of stuff. I mean, it could be 4 hours, could be 8 hours, could be 12 hours for full digestion. So people kind of get this sense like, oh, I'm going to eat something right before I work out, and that's going to fuel my workout. More than likely, especially if it's solid food, whatever you eat before you work out isn't even going to hit your bloodstream until your workout's already over, especially if you've got other food in there from other meals over the course of the day. But that means those other meals have been digesting, so they're getting into your bloodstream, right? So be focused on what you're going to do, which brings me to my next point. What type of activity are you going to be partaking in? Is it going to be a 30-minute strength training workout, 45-minute strength training workout, where basically you're going to use, a lot of muscle mass at once, but then have a lot of downtime between? Okay, that's one style thing. Are you going to go out and do a hard, 2-hour run, like you're an endurance athlete, you're going out and doing that? That's different type of nutrition. You got to fuel for that. Are you an ultra marathon runner? You're going to be out there for like 8 hours. Most of you, that's probably not the case, but that's a very different style of nutrition. So all of those have different goals and different nutrition needs before you work out, and there's something to pay attention to. So macronutrients, let's get a little granular. Okay, before you work out, first thing we're going to look at, number one priority, carbohydrate demand. This is based on the intensity of your upcoming workout. So carbohydrates, they are going to be your quick energy sources. If you're doing something with a very high intensity, like a lot of weightlifting or sprinting or very high intensity endurance activity, you're going to need the carbohydrates to help fuel that workout and help start the replenishment process. If it's going to be a really low key, just go out and do kind of a jog, maybe extremely high intensity strength training, like powerlifting 1 or 2 reps at a time, and then the rest of it just like hanging out, not doing much. You don't need a lot of carbohydrates. You don't need to be sucking down the Gatorade if you're going to go for like a long walk, stuff like that. So that's kind of the demand there. Protein. You want a little bit of protein because you want those amino acids to be kind of getting into the blood, because that's going to help your body keep from breaking down its current muscle mass for its demands. Plus, they're going to be right there if your body does when it starts to heal up. So a little bit of protein before you work out. More for your strength stuff, but really the carbohydrates are the number one key, the number one variable there. And then the other one for training, for pre-workout rather, I like is just a little bit of fat, like not much, like 5-10 grams of fat, which is about like 1 tablespoon, and I mean like a legitimate tablespoon, not the, Isaac, half the jar and 1 spoon of peanut butter, not a usual tablespoon. But like 1 tablespoon of peanut butter, something like that, just enough, because what that's going to do is that's going to slow your digestion a little bit, and that's going to kind of meter out that blood sugar, those carbohydrates, so that if they do, especially this is an early morning person, you don't want those carbohydrates to hit your system, spike up, and then drop down. You want kind of a nice slow response. So that's where having a little bit of fat in there is probably good before you work out. You just don't want too much because it slows digestion down. Too much means you're going to get sick. You don't want that. So, number one priority, carbohydrate. High intensity, a lot of carbohydrate. Low intensity, not much carbohydrate. A little bit of protein, a little bit of fat. What does this look like? Okay, if you're looking at, for a normal sized person, probably going to be somewhere between 15 and 30 or 40 grams of carbohydrate before they work out. This could be, if it's an hour or two, you have enough time to digest. This could be a bowl of oatmeal, about a cup of oatmeal, give or take, half a cup to a cup. It could be a couple of pieces of fruit. It could be like 2 yogurts, something like that. Protein, you're looking at 10, 15 grams, maybe 20 grams if you're a particularly big person before you work out. You don't want to overload here because it's going to sit in your stomach, you're going to get sick. So what does this look like? You want things that are fairly fast digesting, so this could be 2 or 3 ounces of fish, 2 or 3 ounces of turkey, something like that. This could be like a single scoop of protein powder. This could be the yogurts I mentioned before. Probably if you did 2 yogurts, that'd probably get you your carbohydrate and your fat, or your protein. Okay, and then fat, a little bit of fat, 1 tablespoon of peanut butter, half a tablespoon of olive oil, coconut oil, something like that. It could be if you are, eating like lunch meat or something like that. It could be you have turkey. It could be have a little bit of dark meat in there. That could be enough for your fat. You don't need a lot. One of the yogurts could be a whole milk yogurt, something like that. That would give you the fat you would need that would slow that down. So basically, I want you to think about the pre-workout as fueling for the activity you're going to do, but you want to make sure that you are giving yourself some nutrients, but not so much that you're going to get sick from it. That's not ideal. We don't want that. Finally, if you'd like this in a simple, easy to understand cheat sheet that I give out to the Relentless clients, then by all means, drop a note, drop a comment below, and I'll be happy to send that to you.